What is going on, guys? We are back with the Prado. This thing just came back from roadworthy. It passed its roadworthy, no worries at all. We've got the new plates on there, and now it is time to start modding this thing out. The first mod is happening inside the car. All right, so this big beast does have a head unit, and it's a decent head unit. It's a Pioneer unit, but it's not what we want. One thing I really don't like about this unit, and don't get me wrong, the Pioneer units are great. The volume buttons here are tiny and they're kind of hard to get to, and there's no steering wheel controls yet. So I'm going to take this out, and I think a Alpine floating screen is going to look insane here. So that is what we're doing, ripping that out. Alpine unit going in, wireless CarPlay and enjoyment. Alright, so getting to this part here is super easy, as you would have just seen. It's mainly panels held in by clips, and then 4 10 mils, and then this pops right out, and you can basically pull this thing out. If you have an early model Prado like I do, you'll see that you have the old style vents, and they all run on a cable system. So we have to go underneath here and disconnect all of those cable driven vent things. Coming up from under here, it is going to be hard to see, but I've just put my torch on it and I'm going to mark them for you. But all of those things there are driven by the handheld vent controls and airflow controls. So what you need to do is essentially pinch the white bracket and then pull the metal rod off of it very carefully so you don't break it. And then once you've got all of them released, you can go ahead and pull it out. Now, the best way to test which cable you're going to remove is to actually go ahead and change the airflow direction and temperature control, and you'll see them moving underneath, and they're the ones that you want to go ahead and disconnect. And just like that, we've got the radio out. Now, there are some bits and pieces here, like the microphone cable, that are Pioneer specific. Not going to work with Alpine, so we need to remove that from here, and then go ahead and run the new Alpine cable. The Alpine unit also has digital radio, so we're going to go ahead and run a digital radio antenna on the passenger side down behind the glove box over to here. There is already a reverse camera. We are going to change that out for a better camera. And we have the Pioneer plug here. That one there is also for the tip. And then coming over to the back of the unit here, we've got the Toyota plugs. They're the main power plugs. Someone's already used a universal harness, so we can go ahead, chop these off, and then just hardwire them to Alpine. Obviously mount our Alpine unit in this bracket, which means these side brackets all come off. Alpine unit goes in, which is a single DIN floating screen. I'll show you that in a sec. Hardwire it up, run our cables, and then fit it all back in. All right, have a look at that. Alpine bracket, Alpine unit, ready to go. That's the bottom mount bracket, which means we have to put the single DIN carrier at the top. Then the unit will slide on the screen, and then you can adjust it. And we've got the ears, the fascia ears that were already on the other unit. We've just reused those. And I've also got something tricky that we're going to do. So these Alpine units have HDMI in and output. Well, guess what else has a HDMI out? That's a Chromecast. So we put the Chromecast into the HDMI input. We can Chromecast on the Alpine screen. Oh yeah. And there we have it, guys. That is Alpine bracket and unit mounted into the original fascia. Everything mounted up. And basically all that's left now is to get the screen, slide it on. It'll click into place. A couple of screws on it. You do have to go ahead and screw it in. I've already checked that this slider is all the way back. So this slider has 2 positions, in and out. It's in its most in position right now. And then our hardwired plugs are just gonna go boom, boom, and then into the unit. And then we've got all of our little accessories like the Chromecast. All right, get a load of that. Alpine unit is in. We've got all the brackets and all the cover brackets and everything behind it, so she's looking nice and clean. I've placed it back as far as it can go. So that is pretty much exactly how we want it. The fascia that we had did have a little USB port on it, but that's covered now, so forget that. We'll do a different USB blank for it. But that is pretty much how she looks. Coming over to the back, main power loom. We've got our Chromecast connected there into the HDMI in, and then we've just USB powered it from one of the USB ports for the unit, and then the other USB port, which is the CarPlay port, that's going to go into a blanking port somewhere in the car. And she's ready to go. As for the car, we've got the microphone neat, tucked up out of the way right there. Yes, we do have to clean the windscreen still. And then coming down, A pillar has been removed to do the digital radio antenna. Then we're going to run the cabling down underneath the glove box over to the main radio area. And that's what she looks like all apart. And the beauty with that Chromecast will be it has the HDMI into the unit, so we can go ahead and select HDMI. Chromecast will come up because we've plugged it into USB power, pair your hotspot, and then you've got a Chromecast. YouTube, Netflix, all that good stuff. And we have wired it up in a way that you can have it on while driving and also not have it on while driving. So it's safe and not safe. So we now have all of our cables run to where we want them. That's the RCA that I just mentioned before. Boom. So the camera, we got caught up with another car, so I wasn't able to do the camera. We'll do that later. Basically now we're just going to plug in microphone, GPS antenna, all that good stuff. DAB antenna, radio antenna, power, everything here basically. Ooh. Okay, with all that in, now we're just going to go through, connect these things back up because right now they're not doing anything, and we'll have a look at the unit. All right, so just before we put it back together, I wanted to show you guys the Chromecast. So Netflix playing there through my phone. So if I go here and stop it, we can cancel it, and then you can just pretty much stream whatever you want from your phone straight to the Alpine head unit, Netflix, YouTube, you name it. Pretty much anything that you can do on a Chromecast, you can do here, and then you can always just get out of that, and then you have all your Alpine stuff as well. So we'll get this thing back together and then we'll take a look at the unit. Boom, and there it is, guys. Have a look at that. Looking nice and flush, very nice and clean. Perfect for the camping, right? This whole thing we're setting up for touring, for camping. That's why the Chromecast is in there, so we can use Netflix and YouTube and all that stuff. All that's left now, we're just gonna put the glove box back in and get rid of those tools. And that is how she looks. We're not gonna do a review or anything on this unit. I actually have one on the channel already, but we'll probably do, that's the 11-inch. This is the 9. We'll probably do a review on the 9, but as you can see there, it is loaded with features. Apple CarPlay, wireless CarPlay, all that good stuff. There it is, guys. First mod for the Prado is finally done. It's not the craziest four-wheel drive mod, but it is something that we really wanted to do, so we've got that done. If you have any questions about it, drop them in the comments below. Stay tuned for the build. We've still got a bunch of stuff that we're going to do to this big off-road beast. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Catch you in the next one.